Kaboom! Teach them! Always make sure the message I reach them.
Live from Kingston, Jamaica, broadcasting around the world. You're watching the Teach Them YouTube show. Intellectual, yet stimulating. Fair, frank, and factual. This is Extra Class, streaming to the world and beyond.
You know, it's Teach Them, the #1 intellectual blogging panel on the YouTube channel.
Good night, everyone. Let me know if you're seeing me clearly. Let me know if you're hearing me. If you're seeing and hearing me clearly, welcome to another episode of Extra Class, episode number 318. I trust that everybody who is in the hearing of my voice and seeing my face, you are doing well. Your family is also healthy. For the people who are still at work on this Wednesday evening, I trust that your shift will end soon. You will get a chance to be home with your family. For the people who are on the road, get home safely. For the people who are on the road, ready for listen teach about some things we have to jam down. Jamrock, Jamaica land we love. Land of Food and Water, Bob Marley, Usain Bolt, Vibes Cartel, Buju Banton, Shelly and Fraser Price, Karen Cross, Dayton Campbell, Dionne Jackson Miller, INDCOM, some man we love, Drink Rum, and some more people. Peeps, good night. We're there. Soon forward.
Kaboom! Teach them! Always make sure the message I reach them. You know, it's Teach Them, the #1 intellectual blogging panel on the YouTube channel. Hey, yo, yellow. Like, subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification button. Hey, yo, we always up to something. Teach them. Hey, yo, yellow. Send the message and make it reach them. It's Teach Them right here. Warlord representing.
Yes, peeps, good night. So I did not stream on Sunday night as I had promised. So I felt, it wise, good, prudent to use this opportunity tonight to stream. And the truth is, there are a number of issues that have developed since I streamed Friday night that needs our attention. Our expert eyes, not mine and yours. You understand? So we're gonna talk about a few things. So yeah, man, some of them things I couldn't wait for Friday. So we could just deal with the thing. Nagi world, big up yourself, fam. You see, me and the people in the building, manners and respect. You know the mats go, we're there. You see me, appreciate the support. So I could start it so. Because I don't come here for, not come here for people business, but I just come here to discuss some things we have to jam down. Jamrock, Jamaica land we love. You understand? I'm going to share the stream for me now. Rosie, the stream sharing at the group, though? I think so, but don't do that something there. Big up on yourself. Dillian, why you deal with DS? Man, I respect you, broski. But you know, if you do something for DS, I'm going to do it yet. Jaja, but alright, we can promote the business out of it. You understand? CSEC exams pushed back by 2 weeks. Big up to the people in the building. No, truth of the matter is that pushing back CSEC by 2 weeks is neither here nor there. I guess some students will appreciate the extra time, while some students who would feel that they are ready and want to get it over with will become anxious. So I suppose it depends on how you look at it or which side of the fence you are on. Some teachers may welcome the extra time for, that a few I's and cross a few T's and, you see me, make 2 more brains. And them something there. So it is what? So the Caribbean Examinations Council have been further delayed. Well, the Caribbean Examination Council CXC exams have been further delayed by 2 weeks. Yeah? That's the same exam, Empress Lee. Earlier this week, the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, urged CXC to delay the start of the external examinations by 3 weeks and to simplify the content and methodology. CXC administers Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Exam, CAPE, and the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, CSEC examinations. Now, at a press conference earlier today, CXC Registrar Dr. Wayne Wesley said the decision was made during a special council meeting yesterday, which was Tuesday. Examinations will now commence on June 28. Results will be released during the last week of September into the first week of October, as previously decided. Now, all components, that is, papers 1, 2, and 3, will be administered. Students now have until May 31st to defer sitting the 2021 examinations. As I said, run blessings fam, give thanks. Zin, how should I put this? As I said before, some people see this as being beneficial. Some people see this as being an additional source of anxiety. I am not necessarily sure how stable the CXC body is in terms of analyzing and assessing the situation on the ground in various countries, seeing that it's a Caribbean exam and many countries in CARICOM, students, children sit the exam, and all countries in the region are at different stages in treating with the COVID-19 pandemic, and students have been displaced in some countries more than others. But when CXC back, talk no bulldog back, I said that's something like that. But no, so that's the situation you see, sir. But just share that for who interested, because I am not, in all honesty. Easy me? Illegal gun found in T-shirt in Hanover. 2 in custody. So a joint police military operation in Shantoy, Hanover on Friday has resulted in 2 men being arrested in connection with the seizure of one Glock 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 13 9mm rounds. Now, reports from the Lucy police are that about 12:10 p.m., lawmen were in the area when a premises that was occupied by 2 men was searched. During the search, the illegal firearm was seen wrapped in a T-shirt that was found in their possession. 4 cellular phones, along with a lot of scamming paraphernalia, were also seen in their possession. The men were subsequently taken into custody. However, their identities are being withheld pending further investigations. Yeah? So, big up to the police them. You understand? Gun in a T-shirt, whole heap of cell phone, lot of scamming paraphernalia, which I assume would include lead sheets and the work. I don't know. And thing. Yeah, man. On Friday night, I spoke briefly about an incident which took place in Hanover again, where a man, as a result of some dispute with his partner, doused her with gasoline, lit her, and walked away. Man suspected of setting woman on fire in custody. The police say they have taken into custody the man suspected to have set a woman on fire in Great River, Hanover earlier this week. So reports emerged on Thursday that the woman's jealous boyfriend was on the run after dousing her with gasoline and then setting her afire on Wednesday. Reports are that the couple, who operate a car wash and a bar in Great River, were at the location about 4:30 p.m. when the boyfriend accused the woman of disrespecting him. In a fit of anger, he reportedly doused her with a flammable substance before setting her ablaze. Jaja. It is also being alleged that he soaked the premises with gasoline before lighting it and walking away. Residents in proximity of the bar and the car wash who went to investigate the fire were able to rescue the woman as she ran out of the building. However, they took they could only look on helplessly as the building burned. I am trying to do something here, so but it not work out. But alright, they are working a little thing. In the future, now we hear is what. Police responded and rushed the woman to the Noel Holmes Hospital, where she was admitted in critical condition. The man, who is said to be from Westmoreland, has been on the run since. However, in an update via Twitter, the police said the man turned up at hospital in Hanover seeking medical treatment for burns he also received during the attack. He was subsequently taken into custody. So everybody get burned. You understand? Because some man just not learn. You see me? So he must set Empress on fire in the place and end up light himself too. You understand? So in the hospital and the police encircle him. Strange. These I don't even know. Man accused of father's murder granted bail. A St. Catherine man who reportedly stabbed and killed his disabled father was offered $500,000 bail when he appeared in the St. Catherine Parish Court recently. The accused, 24-year-old Shamar Edwards of Greater Portmore in St. Catherine, was arrested in March and charged with murder in connection with the fatal stabbing of 52-year-old Dalbert Edwards. When he made his second appearance in court, he was offered bail after a successful application by his lawyer Richard Lynch, who maintained that his client had acted in self-defense. On condition of his bail, Edwards is to surrender his travel documents and report to the Tower Isles Police Station. Tower Isles, that is in St. Mary as far as my knowledge goes. According to the police reports, on the 21st of March, about 8:15 p.m., neighbors heard screams of murder and ran to the house to inquire what was happening. They reportedly kicked open the door and found Dalbert Edwards lying on the kitchen floor in blood with multiple stab wounds. The police were summoned and the elderly Edwards, who had lost movement on one side of his body as a result of a stroke, was taken to hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. His son, who was arrested a day after the incident, is to return to court in July. Attorney at law Peter Champagny QC is also representing the accused. No, I am a curious man passing by. Lawyer Mr. Richard Lynch, in his bail application, argued that his client, 24-year-old Shamar Edwards, killed his father in self-defense. His father, a 52-year-old man who is disabled, confined to a wheelchair as he lost movement to one side of the body from after suffering a stroke. So now I am just curious to know how the elderly Edwards, Dalbert, was able to attack his son in a manner where the only resort the son had was to stab his father to death. I am still trying to rationalize that within the small confines of my brain. I can't come to a conclusion as to how that would be possible, but as Mr. Adams once said, the law is the law. You understand? So your father is physically incapacitated, confined to a wheelchair, and you kill your father claiming self-defense. Him run the wheelchair on him toes. Why Ali Dan judge? Aye, sir. Him run the wheelchair off him foot. These things nowadays end up with bloodshed. Sad situation. Boy, Empress Kanaika, I tell you, brother. Yeah, man. Man, kill him all, man, bruh. Self-defense. Old man that is confined to a wheelchair. But nothing surprised me anymore still. Nothing surprised me anymore in this country, cause yeah. 15-year-old charged for murder of 6-year-old cousin. We spoke about this on Friday. At the time, I think the child had turned himself into the police in the company of an attorney. The child was officially charged. Went to court, I think, today or yesterday, but was remanded. So the 15-year-old boy who allegedly shot and killed his 6-year-old cousin on Monday in a bizarre shooting incident in a yard on Darling Street, Savannah, Lamar, Westmoreland, was formally slapped with murder charges late Thursday afternoon. So Deputy Superintendent Adrian Hamilton, the officer in charge of operations in Westmoreland, said that the teenager who fled the scene in the aftermath of the shooting surrendered at the Freeport police station in Montego Bay on Wednesday, accompanied by a lawyer. However, while the youngster, who is a high school student, is a high school dropout, has surrendered, the gun he allegedly used in the fatal incident has not been located, as the accused has flatly refused to provide the police with any information about the whereabouts of the weapon. I told you Friday night that they will never find that weapon. So said, so done. But alright, I could continue. The boy only turned himself over to the police with his lawyer, but has refrained from giving up the murder weapon. The police have received leads as to where he might have been hiding shortly after he committed the murder, and that particular location and a particular individual have since been placed under the police radar. Reports are that shortly after 2:30 p.m. on Monday, the accused was in a yard at 105 Darling Street playing with an illegal gun when a shot rang out, and the 6-year-old, identified as Jadane Miller, fell to the ground with a bullet wound to his upper back. The alleged shooter fled the scene while Jadane was rushed to the Sav hospital by his uncle. He was pronounced dead on arrival. Now, a relative of the accused boy told reporters that the youngster has had a troublesome history and was not under parental control. He reportedly dropped out of the Granger High School based on behavioral issues. His father works on a farm in another section of the parish and does not come home regularly, while his mother left the community some time ago and did not return, the relative said. Hamilton said that since the start of the year, 17 juveniles have been arrested for crimes such as abduction, rape, grievous sexual assault, assault at common law, and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. Poor and non-existent support system and structures, as well as bad parenting, and what you have is a toxic combination that have significantly contributed to the loss of lives for many residents and citizens in Westmoreland, the deputy superintendent said. Yeah man, they don't find a gun. Like, hey Anna, how are you? And them something there. So the teen was remanded when he appeared in court. The 15-year-old student, well, I guess they said he dropped out of school, so I don't know, who is charged for the shooting death of his 6-year-old cousin at their home in West, was remanded when he appeared in the Westmoreland Family Court today. His attorney, Henry McCurdy, told the Gleaner that the case was called up and set for the 23rd of July. The teen is charged with the murder of 6-year-old Jadane Miller, which took place on the 17th of May. I'm going to explain to you what happened with that already. And these things. Yeah. Ah, boy. Another little kid get shot down by an illegal gun. Where have we seen that before? How many times have we seen it before? How many incidents have we watched on the news or read in the papers in relation to teenagers playing with illegal guns and somebody die as a result? Too many if you ask me. And 100% of the time, based on my recollection, none of these weapons were ever recovered by the police, as these weapons were hidden or gotten rid of before the police could get a hand on them. Ah, boy. Ew. Police probing whether a quadruple shooting in Gordontown was targeted. Investigators are probing whether Tuesday's quadruple shooting in Gordontown, St. Andrew, was a targeted attack. Now, about 5 p.m., persons were gathered at a stall when they were approached by men. The men opened gunfire, injuring 4 persons. 2 of the victims died. They have been identified as 30-year-old Demoy Foster and 27-year-old Raymond Palmer. Now, SSP Stephanie Lindsay, head of the Constabulary's Corporate Communications Unit, said investigators believe Mr. Foster may have been the main target. SSP Lindsay said he was a person of interest to the police in relation to gang involvement. About 30 spent shells were reportedly recovered from the scene. 2 vehicles were also damaged by bullets. I want to sleep. Give me a minute, guys. So, there was an attack on the Franklintown police station sometime the other day, and reports have emerged that that attack on the police station may have been in reprisal. Yo. Well, I guess you have seen and heard about the attack and stuff, other places. So I'm not going to get too deep into that. However, what I'll say is that one person is now in custody after attack on Franklintown Police Station. Operations Officer for the Area 4 Police, Senior Superintendent Steve McGregor, says so far one person is in custody for the attack on the Franklintown Police Station last week, Thursday night. The police believe the attack is a reprisal for the fatal shooting earlier that day of a man identified as 19-year-old Tyrese Hay, otherwise called Lisa. It's a male we are called Lisa, you know. SSP McGregor says another person is was slated to turn himself into the police as statements are currently being taken from eyewitnesses of the attack. Now, while refusing to disclose the names, the operations officer says an inter-gang war is currently occurring within the division. SSP McGregor also noted that the incident is not being taken lightly, as it is considered an attack on the state. You don't say. Yo, brother. So police shoot a man. Firearm allegedly recovered. And men loyal to or associated with the deceased decide that police kill them friend, whether innocently or not. So they're going to shoot up the police station. I don't mean for laugh, you know, but you have to laugh, because if you don't laugh, boy, I tell you, Jaja, yo, Lisa is a man or a woman. Lisa is a man, Rasta, as far as I know, in this situation, context, them something. Blessings level 100 TV. Oh God. Hope you're good enough, fam. Skinner, where you did? Long time I not see the one now. Marriott, blessings. Soul music lover. Mad. Silver. Bless. Suspect held in Clarendon car stealing ring. So one suspect has been taken into custody after the police uncovered a car stealing ring in Racetrack, Clarendon. So the pre-dawn operation was carried out Friday by a police military team which conducted several operations in the Clarendon division, one of which was a targeted raid at a specific location in Racetrack. Now, according to Assistant Superintendent of Police in Clarendon, Dionne, a large assortment of motor vehicle parts was uncovered in what appeared to be a large car stealing ring. The parts found were mainly from Toyota, Honda, and Nissan motor vehicles. We found several engines and engine numbers erased, and we also seized a Honda Civic motor car with evidence of the firewall being tampered with, said Dionne. The suspect is currently being questioned and charges are expected to be laid soon as the investigation into the find progresses. Now, peeps, I could get into some heavy topics tonight now, because I couldn't make all of them sit there and pile up for Friday night. I not stress out myself, you know. You understand? It's my ear still have a little darkness to it. I not stress out myself. Peter, you know, it's just a make-up stream for Sunday because I never stream. I couldn't make all of them things that pile up for Friday. I not carry so much people burdens. Lay your burdens down on Jesus. He cares for you. When my burden had even Jesus, I carry them neither here, Rasta. That me I tell you. But we could go on. Hospital horror. Probe into funding claims as girl in suicidal spiral alleges double assault. Ah, boy. A 15-year-old girl who was allegedly molested at a Western Jamaican hospital by a nursing assistant last Friday was reportedly being overwhelmed by demons she was silently battling due to sexual assault by a relative in 2017, driving her to the brink of suicide last week. There have been a number of attempted suicide cases recorded across the country in the past week or so, 4 to 5, all inclusive of teenagers. So that is something that we have to keep an eye on. It could be the whole lockdown situation. It could be, well, reports are attributing the spike to abuse, especially sexual abuse, primarily from family members, and that is leading to kids feeling that the only way out is taking their own lives. So, Jaja, it's like everywhere the youth them turn, Maka joke them. The school thing, the school year has died from natural causes, and they're home, and in being home, they are also being preyed upon by family members and people who should be protecting them. Everywhere the youth them turn, Maka joke them. But I have no thoughts about the C-sex situation in the Father Louis. I talk about it earlier and just share the information and move on. Like, as I said, it may be beneficial for a few. Some students may want the additional time, some teachers as well. Some children will become more anxious as they want to get it over with. Some teachers are tired and want the school year that, as I said, has died of natural causes to just wrap up. And yeah. And as I said, CXC, when CXC talk no dark back, you understand? And they don't take the different islands situations into consideration. I think it's just a broad brush approach, and it's mainly a dictatorial thing with CSEC. I mean, they have succumbed to pressure in recent times, but generally speaking, it's there we are, the highways. Drain my energy upon them people, yeah, family. But pick up yourself. just answer the question with the respect to you asking it. But I'm not busy with them. Father James one, big up yourself in the youth. Alright. So back to the kid situation and all rest. The teen who was at home with a friend reportedly disclosed that she could no longer fight as she took an overdose of pills last Wednesday. The friend then alerted her mother, who was away at work, and was rushed to seek emergency medical attention at, and the name of the hospital is well out there, as it was placed in this article as well. Attention at the Noel Holmes Hospital in Lucy, Hanover. In a crucial twist of fate, as she lay on her hospital bed, recovering from her near-death experience last Friday night, she was allegedly fondled by a male nursing assistant. Now, before I go any further, I am assuming that the little Empress being admitted was admitted to a female-only ward. That would be my inclination and a conclusion that I am willing to draw. That you are admitting a 15-year-old female, she should only be admitted to a female ward. Now, having said that, a 15-year-old female who is on suicidal watch being admitted to a ward, which should be female only, I am not necessarily sure why is there a male assistant nurse on a female ward. I wonder if people are following me, because I kind of probably sound a little bit confusing just now. So let me fix up that. Empress admitted to hospital. I would assume the ward that she was admitted on at the Noel Jones Hospital was a female only ward. And as such, if it's a female only ward, yes, you may have male doctors. Fine. But a male assistant nurse, how did he end up on what is supposed to be a female only ward unless that ward wasn't female only? And if so, who was responsible for admitting a 15-year-old child who is on suicide watch, who was, by all reports, molested sexually by a family member, and decided it is best to take her life, for a male nurse to have access to said ward, male assistant nurse, to the point where he felt comfortably enough to fondle the little girl who is in a most delicate state of mind. The child's mother was summoned and a report made to the police. Multiple probes have been launched into the latest allegation, and both the nursing assistant and the accused relative have been taken into custody. The child's mother, who spoke to the Gleaner, said she was hearing of the previous assault for the first time last week, as she vowed to seek justice in that and the latest case. I am trying to seek justice for my child. We need justice. We also had to take her from the hospital on Saturday night because she was not safe. I mean, you can't even blame the mother, brother. And she said if we don't take her from there, she was going to commit suicide. She said, adding that she has since sought private care for the teenage girl. My daughter is very soft, silent. She's independent. She likes socializing with people. She also wanted to become a mental therapist. But I am not quite sure she's going to choose that role after this experience, added the mom. The case is the first major test for the St. Andre Jardy Sinclair, who is entering his 4th week at the helm of the Western Regional Health Authority, and said that he was unaware of the alleged incident at the hospital, at the time. Well, I have heard said that he's aware of my bad. Well, I have heard of the allegations. It is currently under investigation and it is a police matter right now. And that is all I have to say, Sinclair stated. He said that although the allegations had not yet been proven, proactive measures, which he did not disclose, were being taken to prevent such an incident going forward. So, the brother has been detained. So, nursing assistant detained after allegedly sexually assaulting teen. So, a male nursing assistant at the Noel Holmes Hospital in Hanover is now in police custody in relation to the allegations that he sexually assaulted a child who had been admitted. And the 15-year-old patient was admitted for a drug overdose, allegedly after being sexually abused by a family member. Now, in a tweet subsequent to the event, Health Minister Dr. Christopherson called the situation most distressing. The minister said he has been in touch with the family and has also ordered an internal investigation. Jaja. Ah, boy. In the meantime, the mother of a 15-year-old child said that the girl is in emotional turmoil. She said the child has been crying a lot. She did not get an opportunity to speak about the first incident, to open up to us. But now she knows we will listen. She's opening up, the mother said. The hospital assault reportedly happened shortly before midnight on Friday. The teen, as we said earlier, was admitted on Wednesday. Ah, boy. Now, following the alleged hospital assault, the child's mother discharged her from the facility without the permission of doctors. In the first place, a male nurse assistant should not be on a female ward, said the teen's mother. And I am in full agreement. You understand? You see me? Georgia. Ah, boy. Now, so one heavy case. Let's move on to another one. My eyes them feel weak. Look into my eyes. Tell me what you see. Can you feel my pain? Am I your enemy? Give us a better way. Things are really bad. The only friend I know is this. Listen to my voice. This is not a threat. Now you see the 9. Are you worried yet? Well, you've been talking about. You wonder what to cease. But when you show us up, then we will show you peace. Look into my life. Can you see my kids? Can you tell that well, in this part of town, survival is my will. For us to stay alive. Jaja. Rodney, big up yourself. As we said that. Yeah, what? Rodney called me like a proud father one night. Yeah. Think of Sunday evening, you know. I say now, wait till you see me in a person for tell me say I'm proud of it. You understand? Really not King Bushman thing. Killer say, brother, look how much Rasta man in our business and boy place. And none of them never try to fix the two artists they only. You see me, look how much media house and them something and they take a youth. See me? Like you if you come do that something. You understand? The man say, yo, teach. That's something you don't even know what you're just. Because there's a feud that bigger than for me and being a feud. For me and being a feud, a lyrical feud. You know, this a feud that man face get bust up, whole heap of trick make and then sitting there. You don't even know what you do you. You understand? And, you understand? Me and a lot of people have said it. So, you know them feel about the thing. But having killer take up your phone and call me and say, Teach, me proud of you. Yeah, man, it was a joy. You know what I mean? Give thanks. Yeah. Teach, a Friday already. No, you know, but some things they on fire, and if they wait till Friday, they would have burn up. Yeah, we have to turn them. You understand? And turn down a flame. But we can move on now. So we talk about that everyone there. And thing. Incest convict, sentence cut. The Clarendon man who was in 2015 sentenced to life at hard labor for incest with his teenage daughter, follow back on me, with his teenage daughter, who ironically was the child of his stepdaughter, whom he had impregnated years before, on Friday last had his sentence reduced by the Court of Appeal to 15 years imprisonment at hard labor in a new turn of events. Let me go back through that. So, nothing is lost in translation. Boy, I don't know I'm to talk Clarendon, you know. Yes. The Clarendon... We are laughing because this is what we laugh. I just a Clarendon and this is a Clarendon man. The Clarendon man who was in 2015 sentenced to life at hard labor for incest with his teen daughter, who ironically was the child of his stepdaughter, whom he had impregnated years before, on Friday last had his sentence reduced from life in prison at hard labor by the Court of Appeal to 15 years imprisonment at hard labor in a new turn of events. Remember we said them heavy? On hold on, on stand up strong. So this man was sentenced to life in prison for sexually molesting his daughter. A daughter that was created by the same man abusing his stepdaughter. Valro says Shaffield. No, this is going to take some twist and turn tonight. I'm not moving because I saw Dionne Jackson Miller get caught up in that little firestorm on the whole land. Remember, Dionne Jackson Miller is a lawyer, you know. Up along with her journalism work. You know, don't move, alright. James Bond saying last. Alright, James, I'm a big brother from then time till now. No child shall be left behind. Every child can learn and every child must learn. We now left James. No. Give him a encouraging round of applause there and bring up his spirit. Him now learn so fast today. James, you, sir, was sentenced to life in prison for sexually molesting your daughter. Yeah? Your daughter is actually the daughter of your stepdaughter because you had impregnated your stepdaughter years before when you did a molest her too. You understand? So, you are now serving life in prison for molesting your child, a child whose mother was your stepdaughter. You follow now, James? We not left you behind. Zane, alright, watch him what say now. Boom soon. Peter, we have to confuse Peter. I want to disciple them Peter and James tonight. Then disciple them different. Brother, me say, Chaddy, what you deal with you? Let me say. This man was sentenced to life in prison because he was found guilty of sexually molesting his daughter, his child. We call that incest. His daughter's mother, so his baby mother, his pitney mother, was his stepdaughter because he molested his stepdaughter and impregnated her when she was young as well. I hope the disciple them, James and Peter, get it. Alright. So I could take with time. Move along. According to the details unveiled before the court, the child had been left with her grandmother, the man's mother, because her mother had gone overseas. He, however, took her to live with him so as to have access to her. So the little girl was living with her grandmother. He decided to take the child from his mother, which is the child's grandmother, to come live with him because the mother went overseas. Him former stepdaughter got the child, in her testimony, told the court that her father at first rubbed himself on her but did not go further. She should have stabbed him. In a later incident, he, however, called her to his sleeping area, told her to undress, and had sexual intercourse with her, after which he threatened to kill her if she told anyone. She reported the matter to a guidance counselor at her school, which led to his arrest and charge for indecent assault and incest. Shockingly, during the trial for the offenses against his child, the child's mother testified that he had been her own stepfather and had sexually and physically abused her when she was a child. His method of operation with her was the same as that with her daughter, the court was told. That sexual abuse resulted in a pregnancy and the birth of the same daughter he was convicted of molesting. Boy, Maria, there are too much everything. We couldn't care all of them go over Friday. Everybody. I have to rid myself of some load. For wise in a life, you know. The man molested his stepdaughter and impregnated her. The child that was created out of that molestation, he then later molested that child, which is him own pitney. So he molested the mother and molested the daughter. He molested the child's mother when she was his stepdaughter, and then molested his own daughter when his stepdaughter, baby mother, gone foreign. Crazy world, Rasta. Alright, everybody on the same page. James, you follow, sir? And Peter? Like, you know, still there, Jerusalem, you know. Calvary place around other part. Peeps, you know, hold on for the chain, because I realize you don't even know what's going out in the street, you know. No, hold on, no watch what's going about it. The woman's story was confirmed by DNA testing, which was carried out as part of the investigation into the teenager's complaint. Both mother and child testified that he would beat them when they were under his control. Despite the fact that the events with the mother had taken place before, he was convicted of the 2 counts of carnal abuse in respect of those events and was sentenced to 4 years imprisonment. He was serving those sentences when he was being tried for the offenses against his daughter. Following the trial, the father, who had changed his initial not guilty plea to guilty, was sentenced to imprisonment for life at hard labor and ordered to serve 15 years before becoming eligible for parole. He was also sentenced to 5 years imprisonment at hard labor for the indecent assault charge. The convicted father, who then appealed the sentences, lost his bid in respect of the sentence for indecent assault, but was allowed to appeal in respect of the offense of incest. Lawyers argue that the judge had erred in failing to identify the normal range of sentences for incest and an appropriate starting point within that range for the convicted father. They further argued that the judge had placed too much focus on the aggravating factors in the case and failed to pay enough regard to factors such as his guilty plea, which resulted in him not receiving a fair sentence. They also contended that the judge erred in imposing a sentence that was manifestly excessive. In the judgment handed down on Friday, the appeal court, in pointing out that Section 7, subsection 4 of the Sexual Offences Act stipulates that the maximum sentence for incest is imprisonment for life, said the judge did not specifically indicate any reason for starting at the maximum sentence and had therefore erred in this regard. The court, in noting that the sentencing guidelines stipulate that the usual starting point is 7 years imprisonment, said this, however, would not be an appropriate starting point for him, since he knew that the child was born out of his sexual abuse of his stepdaughter, and the fact that he meted out the same type of physical abuse to her as he did to her mother is a basis for a higher starting point. It, however, said that although his behavior is considered egregious and abhorrent, it is possible to imagine worse scenarios. His case is therefore not the worst of the worst, and does not deserve a starting point of life imprisonment. An appropriate starting point would be 12 years, the appeal court said, in agreeing that the learned judge did impose a sentence that was manifestly excessive, and ruled that the sentence imposed by the learned judge for the offense of incest be set aside and a sentence of 15 years imprisonment at hard labor be substituted. The sentence is to be reckoned as having commenced on the 22nd of June 2015 and is to run concurrently with other sentences imposed on or before the 22nd of June 2015, the court concluded. The court, however, noted that the act at the time was relatively new and that the learned judge was figuratively breaking new ground with the sentence that she was tasked to impose. She did, however, err in using the maximum sentence as a starting point of the exercise. Consequently, the court was entitled to reconsider the sentence. It said, "Me open up follow so far." On screen is respected, revered, straight talking, straight shooting, no nonsense journalist Dionne Jackson Miller. There was a firestorm on Twitter yesterday, into last night, into today, after it was discovered that a part of the legal team that appealed on this gentleman's behalf was attorney at law Dionne Jackson Miller. Many people have castigated, chided, crucified, berated, disrespected Dionne Jackson Miller since that revelation was made, citing the fact that Dionne has been, as they say, a moral police and somebody who has been very vocal and strident against the abuse of children and women as a whole, and as such she should not have taken the case. The backlash was so strong and swift that Miss Jackson Miller felt the need to address the issue publicly. Dionne Jackson Miller responds to critics of her involvement in incest case. And then you say, "No, want me pile up for Friday night. You must be dreaming." And then like, so heavy case, man. Veteran journalist and now lawyer Dionne Jackson Miller has responded to outrage that she was part of the defense team that successfully appealed a life sentence for a man who admitted to engaging in sex acts with his daughter. Jackson Miller dismissed views that her involvement in the appeal case sent a negative message to survivors of sexual abuse. The case involved Devon Ricketts, who was charged in 2012 with the offense of indecent assault and incest. This after he had sexual intercourse with his daughter, who was then between 13 and 14 years old. During the trial in the Clarendon Circuit Court, the child's mother made a shocking revelation during her testimony that she was Ricketts' stepdaughter and she was also sexually abused by him. Even more intriguingly, she stated that her abuse produced a daughter who was subsequently sexually abused by Ricketts. The more I read this, the more I nobody want to read this. You understand? I wonder if I could engage me better now. I wonder if I know the effects. At the close of the prosecution's case, Ricketts was repleaded, and he subsequently pleaded guilty to incest and indecent assault in relation to his biological daughter. On June 22, 2015, he was sentenced to life imprisonment at hard labor with a stipulation that he should serve 15 years before becoming eligible for parole consideration. I'm telling you all of this already still. He was also sentenced to 5 years in jail for indecent assault. Both sentences were to run concurrently. But on the 21st of May 2021, the Court of Appeal reduced Ricketts' sentence for incest on the basis that the presiding judge had erred in relation to the sentence that was to be imposed under the Sexual Offences Act. The court also agreed with defense attorneys that the sentence that was imposed for incest by the judges were manifestly excessive. Against the background, Ricketts was ordered to serve 15 years in prison at hard labor. The 5-year sentence for the offense of indecent assault was not reduced. Ricketts was represented at the appeal by attorneys Ian Wilkinson, Queen's Counsel, Dionne Jackson Miller, and Lenroy Stewart, according to the judgment prepared by the Court of Appeal. But since details of the appeal case were disclosed, social media users have been infuriated by the decision of the Court of Appeal to reduce the convict's sentence. Further, persons have also been critical that Jackson Miller, who is well known for her current affairs program on both radio and the television, had represented the convict at his appeal hearing. There is a reason Dionne Jackson Miller is so silent on this story. She was a lawyer who appealed the sentencing for this predator, wrote one male Twitter user. His tweet added, "My morals would have made me turn down this offer. As a lawyer that tries to moral police every politician and everybody should never ever be a part of a legal team that appeal a sentence for a predator that impregnated his stepdaughter and then incest." In response, one Twitter user argued that, wow, as an attorney, she was doing her job. However, in her other skin as a tenacious journalist who highlights issues of this nature, It must be an uncomfortable position for her. Amid the raging debate on Twitter and other social media platforms in relation to Jackson's legal representation of the convict, the woman under the microscopic lenses responded to the criticisms on Wednesday morning. I'm tired. You know, I should have gone in bed, you know. But, Jaja. In a lengthy Twitter thread, Jackson Miller acknowledged that she was one of the lawyers involved in the much talked about incest case. The individual was convicted of incest, and we argued, based on the law, which is what is argued in the Court of Appeal, that the judge erred in how she went about imposing the sentence, and that the sentence was excessive. Jackson Miller wrote, adding that sentence only, not conviction, was appealed. She added that there are legal arguments, and the Court of Appeal held that we were correct on at least some of our arguments and upheld the appeal. Turning to the question of how could she have accepted such a case, Jackson Miller responded that this is a perennial question to criminal defense lawyers. You either believe that people are entitled to counsel or you don't. Sure, some lawyers refuse to take sexual offense cases, and that is fine. I have taken a few. I believe in applying the law, and as counsel, that is what we assist the courts to do, she tweeted. Continuing, she stated, the public may believe lawyers should or should not take certain cases, that there should or should not be right to bail, that every conviction for certain offenses should automatically attract a death sentence. I disagree and continue to share how the law works and why sentences are imposed in the way they are. Ah, boy. In the same way that as a journalist I ask questions even when I am being pilloried, being attacked and cussed out, I suppose, I do my job as a lawyer, hope I pronounce that right, even if the public does not approve. Part of what the rule of law means is that judges must impose sentence according to the law, she stated. Jackson Miller went on to express the view that she was not sending any message to sexual abuse survivors by being engaged in the incest case at the appeal level. I was asked what message I am sending to sexual abuse survivors. None at all. That is not about sending a message to anyone, she further stated. However, the ability to appeal sentence is one of the checks and balance allowed by the rule of law, she argued. Jackson Miller also took aim at those who have been critical of lawyers taking money for certain cases despite the allegations. And by the way, the comments about lawyer doing anything for money, this was a legal aid case. Payment is peanuts and likely won't be received for months, she responded. Thanks, as always, to those who try to engage me respectfully on issues on which we disagree. I appreciate it. She concluded her thread on the issue. At what time? I feel like I read from yesterday. Oh, I have a glass but no water now, you know, see? Yo. Let's see. See, this is a place named Jamaica, yeah? Something always a keep. Right now, you know, I keep tiredness. I tired of it. I'm very tired. I used to stream because I know people been accustomed to me never stream Sunday. And I just start stream again and I take Sunday off and all of this. I never sleep Saturday night. You understand? I'm here never decide to go in bed, so I did have to be up. You see me? That's all him there for. Die. The man not call him mother, you know? Him not calling me mother. Zane? And because he's 10 months old, so him have a crib inside our room as well. Him have film space, but his mother saying too far, so she don't want him. So he's there. His crib is at the foot of the bed. The mother is there, so me there, so. And brother, now go for him, mother, you know. That my toe or my foot bottom in my scratch and a draft sheet off of me. So me have to get up. Alright, sir. Me have to take a look up commercial break look a while. I did you have to laugh a little bit sometimes. You understand? So you know. This would be like me beating up politicians every day. You understand? And video emerge on social media, we teach them pan a yacht partying with politicians. Then I couldn't come burn out a politician again. I mean, just say, you understand? See, but then me go party with them and come burn them the next day, see me, you know, cause some eating, you know. You understand? Not because me near me, they feel like, say, you can't go for me now, you know, we don't play that. But we not go on a boat with no politician neither. Them boat we see. Them boat, they're not good boat. So watch you know. That Dionne Jackson Miller thing is sticky. Can't say, here we go on, you know. Here we go on. Here we go on. Dionne Jackson Miller is a well-respected journalist. See? And I have Dionne Jackson Miller in my top 3 Jamaican journalists list. I want nobody ask me, because I'm not call nobody else name about it. I'm going to love people business. Dionne Jackson Miller is right up there. Dionne Jackson asks the hard questions. The questions that, if given the opportunity, I think I would ask as well. See me? So you know, thanks Empress Kobe, yeah man, he is a little gem, you know? A blessing. Many people have Dionne in high regards as a journalist, and you know, even though some people accuse her of being political, I mean, anybody who is in the media space, you will be accused. People accuse me of being Labourite, people accuse me of being PNP. So if you cuss everybody, they might catch me a cuss the Labourite them tonight, so then say me a PNP. Tomorrow night, somebody else catch me a cuss the PNP them, so then say me a Labourite. So you understand, I just saw a thing. And Dionne, who is in mainstream media, interface with these people far more than somebody like me would even get the opportunity to. So, I guess when she asks the hard questions, people have branded her as being, you know what I mean, one thing or another. However, this situation, I may hasten to say that she has now lost some of her believability, some of her journalistic credibility. Many people will now not pay or give much regard to the things that she say, as some people believe that quote unquote she basically sold out. I mean, people are going to think, you know, various things. Truth is, if I was a lawyer, I would not have taken that case. Speaking for myself. Especially if I was a lawyer with the journalistic repute that Miss Jackson Miller has amassed down the years. Being somebody who has, on many occasions, shared her personal view on child abuse in the media landscape, and to learn that she was one of the defense counsel for the appellant in this case, this very egregious of cases, then I would want to think that Miss Dionne Jackson Miller would have lost the respect and admiration of some members of the Jamaican population. However, on the flip side of that, she is a trained attorney at law. And attorney at law become attorneys to defend people who run afoul of the law or who feel aggrieved by one party or another. And as such, the truth of the matter is that she will take cases that some of us will not be in agreement with. Zane, she will take cases that you and I, in our moral compass circle, would not take, but then she has to pay her bills. So I guess then there's that part of the conversation. Zane, why did she take this exact case? She tried to explain that it's a part of the checks and balance within the Jamaican Constitution for people to have the right to appeal. And they felt that even though the man pleaded guilty, so they're not appealing his conviction, they were appealing his sentencing, which they view life imprisonment was manifestly excessive, and they took on the case. She's also saying that it's a legal aid case and it wasn't about the money. I am wondering if Miss Jackson at any point in time, and it would be nice to, actually have a discussion with Miss Jackson about this. I am wondering if at any time during the appeal process, if Miss Jackson actually sat and gave any thought to the fact that what would people say when it becomes public knowledge that I was a member of the defense team defending Ricketts having impregnated his stepdaughter and sexually molested his daughter, which is his stepdaughter's child, his child. I don't know how much thought she gave that, and if she gave it any at all. What kind of conflict was she treating with in her head? I mean, lawyers will always be that. They will be lawyers. So I guess James man, Mario, blow me, don't tag me, don't at me. You see me? So there is two sides to any coin, I suppose, and there's one side that Dionne Jackson Miller has been, talking about these things for years, and she shouldn't have taken the case. Some people in the legal fraternity and the legal luminaries among us will say, but Teach, she's a lawyer. She's trained to act on behalf, to represent people who are in front of the courts. And as such, she also has bills to pay, and she decided to take the case. So, I don't know. If I was a lawyer, I would not have taken the case. Having assessed all that went down before, truth be told, I would not take that case. You understand? But then, me sitting in this chair can't say anything too because I am not a lawyer, innit? There's that too. But thinking about the person I am, if I was a lawyer, me wouldn't take that case there. You understand? Miss Miller took it. She must have had some thought somewhere in her mind, front or back or middle, said this was not going to age very well when it became public knowledge, because it couldn't be a secret. The Court of Appeal makes available the written judgment for every appeal case. So it was available for everybody. You just need to go up on the Court of Appeal website, go look on the case file, the written judgment, and you see the lawyers them who involved, everybody. You see me? So I listened to her this evening on Beyond the Headlines, and she made short mention of it when I think Howard Hamilton came on and called her counsel, and they had a brief discussion about, she's saying that, yeah, she was a bit defensive because what has been going on Twitter and them something. So I don't know that it was wise for Miss Jackson to take the case. I don't know why she decided to take the case. And the thing is that Miss Miller, being a journalist and a journalist of the status that she is, being a lawyer, this will not be the last case that the public find issues with going forward. You see me? Yeah. And as I said, I know for a fact that her stripes has been reduced, and some people don't really want to hear nothing from her right now. So, I know Jamaicans are very forgiving people, you know. You understand? We do things and we come apologize. Say, man, give them, every man deserve a chance, man. So that's how we stay as the hard people still. So, maybe Jamaica will looking at themselves and forgive her, I don't know. But as me I say, if I was a lawyer, I would take the case. But then I am not a lawyer, and Miss Miller have her bills to pay, and there's something there. So, but no, yeah. Probably should have done a call in, you know, and find out what I think about it. Instead of me there chat off my face, you know. And probably one next time. You know what, teacher, I respect Mr. Jackson Miller, but I am thinking that this case may lead to some conflict of interest. Why? A case done. What about the next case or cases to come? Miss Kitty now take that case to teach them. Why? You don't do until you know, you know. You understand? A Scartel saying in one song, you don't know someone until you know someone. You understand? I know you know that song. So, I don't even know Rasta George. Yeah. We'll soon come back to Dionne, because, you know, as I say, she's one of the ace journalists, and she had a discussion with Dr. Dayton Campbell this evening on Beyond the Headline. I have not listened Beyond the Headline in beyond a decade, and I just felt a need to go over there this evening. And so, because of the whole Dionne Jackson, I was hoping that she would have addressed it, kind of hear what she did, even though I saw the comments on Twitter and things. I'm gonna know. I guess she probably knew the repercussions. Possibly. She's a very intelligent lady. I am assuming she would have explored the pros and cons. Not sure what the pros are in this though. Look like only cons to me. But Dionne has always been a strong woman, and I suppose this won't weaken her. It's just that some people just not really to pay her much mind going forward. You understand? Alright. So one little thing going on one part, you know. I never read this article, but just know so one thing going on. Children's home rage. Staff deny report of beating at Maxfield Park facility. So simmering tensions at the state-run Maxfield Children's Home in St. Andrew erupted on Tuesday after angry staff protested the arrest and charge of a co-worker accused of using a piece of board to slap a student in the head for sleeping in class. Whoa! The female worker was hauled before the court on Friday to answer the charges of administering corporal punishment. Staff became incensed after the details of the investigations were unsealed in court. It is understood, but employees of the children's home have rubbished the allegations against their colleague. One woman, who said she is the house parent for the child, joined the protest outside the facility's gate on Tuesday. She said all the staff there would have been negligent if the allegations that the child was beaten unconscious were true. For a child to be beaten with a piece of board, the child has to have some evidence of bruises or some swelling, and the child has not been to any doctor. It is a big, fat lie, the woman said. Well, the house parent said the child at the center of the incident is traumatized. The unsettling scene was another blot on Child Month as the country continues to grapple with a spate of incidents involving the abuse and killing of youth. Chairperson for the board, Nadine Spence, said that she visited the facility on Tuesday where the children appeared to safe following the 2.5-hour protest appeared to be safe. Some error on this. She said based on her reading of the situation, the anger was not directed at the children's home. They were protesting the police investigation and the charges being laid against their colleague, Spence said. Under the law, staff at the facility should not protest for more than 3 hours. Oh, I see. There was that law. Oh. Among the issues causing tension at the children's home is the perceived abuse of liberty wards. Abuse of liberty wards suffered. Well, among the issues causing tension at the children's home is the perceived abuse of liberty wards suffered. Okay, kind of get it now. The workers there claim the children sometimes play the victim, with some of them shielded behind the law. The little we on pay we have to save for stop we from go prison. We have to save for pay a lawyer. Down to last night, one of the boys them threatened to stab me in my sleep. One of the placard bearer working dressed in blue shouted in anger. But Spence insisted that caregivers at the home could not be allowed to abuse children, even in difficult circumstances. She pointed out that the Child Care and Protection Act prohibits corporal punishment in state-operated facilities. One of the issues I hear them raise is that the children give trouble and the children are difficult. The issue is not that children will not be difficult or children will not give trouble, but the punishment is appropriate. But what punishment is appropriate, said Spence. They are asking, so what if them spit on me? What if them lick me? We always have to find the appropriate response and regulation. And the regulations tell you what punishment should look like in children's homes. Spence, a university manager, contended. I never did know Sir Nadine Spence done this. Isn't it? And Garfield said that a 9-day talk for Jamaican. Well, Twitter have a look way about them, brother. You understand? George write trend on Twitter every day, you know. Because people now like off for that, you know. So, I don't know if it's a 9-day one that. So, we could see, you see it? Ah, boy. Tell us everywhere you with them turn back a joke them, you know. The teacher, now he made tough. I help him, help the youth, teach them. Can't do, sir. My Mr. Stop at me. You understand? Nadine Spencer everywhere. That Mr. said on my head in a cave. I see her everywhere, I see her. Like, you understand? She's in a lot of places. We say the articulate minority. Shall remember that? Jaja. Boy. I understand that many of these places of care for children, they are very difficult places. There have been many cases of wards of the state being physically, emotionally, sexually abused down the years by caregivers and people who are placed in charge of them. Let's see how the case proceeds, as the allegations are that the teacher used a piece of board to beat the child who was sleeping in the class. So, I don't know. Was that child taken to get medical attention? If so, what are the results? If the child was not taken to get medical attention, why not? Was a report made? Were there other students there? What? So it's a lot of little things. So make us see how it go. You understand? No one tears her grandson killed by a police brother, says grandma. If your grandmother say she not sad to see you dead, then something wrong. If your grandmother not cry when you drop out, something wrong. Because nobody no love youths like them grandparents. Me can't tell you that. Well, not my grandfather. My grandmother love me like I cook food. You understand? So, right now, the greatest thing in Amir grandmother life is Amir. So, me know grandma, they love you differently. So if you dead and your grandmother says she not crying a tear for, shed no tear for you, then your life never in another family. You understand? A man accused of being abusive and threatening was shot dead allegedly by his Scott brother as a bubbling family dispute reached a fatal crescendo in Lioneltown, Clarendon. Clarendon, yes! I want to go on Clarendon fam. Dead is 29-year-old Alric Williams. A labourer of Lioneltown, who relatives said was shot by his brother whom he had attacked. According to them, Williams had physically attacked a cousin on Saturday and had a history of verbally abusing his grandmother. Brother, you can't abuse your grandmother, brother. They don't if you do that. With whom you live. My grandmother never spoiled me, you know. Mattison. Yeah. May I tell her that? She love me, but she ain't spoiled because when Uncle Frame come, and she tell Uncle Frame read out your file, that sentence you get right there, you know, Uncle Frame bust your ass, you know. You understand? She not keep a secret for you. So she just did love for you. She never, no, my grandmother never spoiled me. I can't tell her that. I say when she give Uncle Frame your file, I sibble jack to your body, man. You understand? Because she not going to beat you, you know. But Uncle Frame, them man they just want to know so you forget lick, you know. Lick or forget, you know. That me I tell you, you know. You see me? So, yeah, man. Our grandmother did just love you. We used to get trouble. She just give Uncle Frame a file. And we just rub our skin for a while. Because we were some troublesome child. That's how I think, you know what I mean? Alright, so watch out now, peeps. According to them, Williams had physically attacked a cousin on Saturday and had a history of verbally abusing his grandmother, with whom he lived and even threatened to physically attack her. It was on this basis that his older brother reportedly visited the family home and asked him to leave. Williams reportedly refused to leave and the dispute escalated after the brother began to remove Williams' belongings from the house. His grandmother, Florabelle Williams, said, Florabelle, Jaja, big up yourself, grandma. Him, the older brother, turned to him and said, me hear all that you're going on here with mama and it can't work. A long time you had to wait and it can't work. You have to come out here now, she recalled. According to the elderly woman, Williams refused to leave the premises and an argument ensued, after which he allegedly used a metal pipe to attack his older brother, who subsequently shot him as the final act unfolded about 8 a.m. The grandmother painted a grim picture of her grandson, saying she would be shedding no tears over his demise. When him say anything, I say me don't like it, him turn upon me and him class me worse than dog. Not a tear can shed for him, none, she said. She disclosed that Williams had returned to live with her some years ago after his release from a boys' home, Jaja, a decision now she regrets. Everybody said me shouldn't make him come back on me yard. But I'm a blood. But him for come and behave. But him not have no behavior, she said. A devil from hell that. Williams' cousin, whom he allegedly attacked and injured on Saturday, said his death could have been avoided had he listened to his older brother. If only all did listen. I talk him brother, I talk to him, you know. Him never come to him with no war, she said, adding that his constant disrespect towards his grandmother had caused her undue heartache. Mama grew enough away, and none of we never disrespect her grandmother yet. I'll lick him off of mama. From him come there, mama yard, no in and no peace, none at all. Him diss mama too much, and anything come at him out, him tell mama, she said. Now, personnel from the Independent Commission of Investigation visited the home on Monday, so you know they might investigate. You understand? Your brother named Alric Williams, brother. Zane Williams, your family teach them. Why, I hope not. You understand? But me don't know I'm T. Williams them, bro. Zane, they set them one way, man. I set them some. The grandmother and the granddaughter is a liar. Gregory, yeah? How you know about the situation? Anonymous, thanks for the contribution, my friend. Really and truly, I appreciate it. Can you talk to you a long time for BF? Oh, I look like just somebody else. But as me I say still, I am just working off the story in the article. DeAndre says somebody alive. Okay. But DeAndre, me I work off of the article because I don't see another article countering that article. So if people in the community know say a lie them I tell, them need to call in a gleaner and give for them side of the for them account of the events. You understand what I say? But watch it right now. I don't know of grandparents who hate grandchildren. No matter how bad the child is, grandma nah give up on you. No matter how much trouble you get in, your grandma still hope say one day you can turn your life around. You see me? So if you hear a grandma I say them things about a youth, it means there's something right somewhere long time just the same. I remember, you know, by all accounts, he was welcomed back in the home by her after he was released by the state. You see me? So for your grandmother, it is easier for your mother and your father say them hate you than your grandmother say she hate you. That are my experience. You see me? So me no know them talk to the gleaner, grandma and the cousin. Oh well, I guess me no see them that article then. No, I'm saying yeah, but me I say DeAndre, if the accounts are false, there must be some other family member, there must be somebody in the community. Alric must have some friend they will link it clean and say, yo, I be a lie them a tell upon the youth. I saw the thing go. Me not see none of the article there. You see me? But what me I say? Zane, I can't say nobody else I like because I don't know the situation. Me I work with the article in front of me. And if your grandmother reach a stage here, then something wrong in your life, brother. You understand? The one person in your family will not give up on you, bro, is your grandmother. No matter how many times you mess up, your grandmother still a hope against hope say one day you gonna change. That's your grandmother still. So me don't know still, but alright. So INDCOM probe that. Speaking about INDCOM. INDCOM probing fatal shooting involving 5 cops. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDCOM, has started probing 2 fatal shootings involving the police in Trelawney and Clarendon. One incident was the shooting of 29-year-old Tyrone Powell at Cotton Tree District in Albertown, Trelawney. So the police reported that on Sunday the 23rd of May about 8:30 p.m., 5 police officers were making inquiries about a man who was said to be armed with a gun in the community. On the arrival of the police, it is alleged that the man attacked the police with a machete. Damien, dig up yourself. 4 of the officers appreciate the contribution. 4 of the officers fired their weapons in response to that attack, resulting in Powell's death. No firearm was recovered, but a machete was reported as having been retrieved at the scene of the incident. Teach, the cousin said his mama called the big man, and grandma said she never knew that he was coming there. Oh, I see the article there, DeAndre. I have to look for it then. You see me? Empress Millicent, Miss Mark, good night. Thanks for the contribution. You see me? Okay, DeAndre. I haven't seen that article, so I guess I would have to peruse it and we'll see how it goes. If you listen to what they say, you can tell that she loves one than one. Well, Gregory, if you are disrespect your grandmother, then she not gonna lose love for you, brother. If you are wake up, get up and disrespect people as per the thing, then me not gonna like you. You understand? So I guess based on the accounts too, apparently it has been ongoing. So me don't know. And as I'm saying, Gregory, me does a work or it's a video on the cleaner website. Alright, I'll have a look at it later on or tomorrow. And thing. So I guess Gregory look like him know some things about the situation, so I don't know. DeAndre says some things, so I don't know either. Well, INDCOM is investigating, so whosoever tell lie, I would think that the investigations would treat with that and them something. So now, the second incident involved the shooting of 29-year-old Alric Williams, which is what we were talking about just now, at the Lionel Town housing scheme in Clarendon on Monday. So the police reported that an off-duty police officer was involved in the fatal shooting incident, with the deceased being his younger brother. The shooting reportedly occurred during a family dispute about 8 a.m. So the police report stated that the off-duty officer visited the Toronto Road home in an effort to remove his brother from the premises following a recent dispute with another relative. A tussle reportedly ensued between the brothers, during which it is alleged that the now deceased brother used an iron pipe to hit the officer. During the fight, the officer reportedly fired a service pistol at his brother, fatally wounding him in the process. An iron pipe was recovered from the scene of the incident. The officer in question is reported to have provided an initial account to INDCOM investigators and is cooperating with the investigation. So INDCOM's forensic team, alongside officers from the police's scenes of crimes unit, processed the two incident scenes, and the weapons of the concerned officers were seized, photographed, boxed and sealed for testing at the government forensic lab. All the concerned officers were served with Section 21 notices to furnish statements and attend the offices of INDCOM to be interviewed later. Well, sometime that week, another week here. And persons with information relating to any of these incidents are being asked to contact INDCOM Central Office at 876-968-8775 or send information via WhatsApp 876-553-5555 Jaja $1,000,005 to assist in the ongoing investigation. Yes, Christine Jarrett. Somebody's assisting her. Yeah, so INDCOM a probe. No peace. We could talk about a few things before we talk about a few things. Teacher never say anything about themselves and conspiracy against her grandmother, and she will go to jail. Okay, Ati, yeah. Him thief bad too. People are threatening to burn our house down because of him. We have to get him out fast. Oh, so I guess there are a number of people here who are close to the incident. So Gregory and Castell apparently have intimate knowledge of the situation. Interesting. Alright. So Gregory is saying that Alric was not liked by the family based on my assessment, while Castell is saying that the boy, well, like he's a man, ain't it? How old is he again? "29 years old, was a problematic individual and as such. But I guess INDCOM is probing, so I leave it at that still. Teach them. I saw the video and it's a simple difference in how the police reach there, nothing else. Both stated that the brother a problem. Okay, Rosie. Okay. Speech and no respect him not. A lot of people have a lot of things to say about this topic. Interesting. I think this is a justified self-defense though. No teach, not for him. Okay. Okay. No harm. But let no one harm you. Simple. Oh, that's my experience. Okay, wisdom. No problem. No problem. I call in today I go. I true Peter, but that's how I think go. Sometimes when things not mean happen for a reason. You see me? Auntie. Alright. Prisoner gets more time for a contraband. Don't be a laugh, you know, because you have to take bad things with joke both sides of the time. Watch out. What do watch out go there? So do listen up here. A man who was expected to finish his sentence by next week was ordered to spend an additional month in jail when he appeared before the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. 1 month, you know, one number. Lincoln Johnson, 19, pleaded guilty to the charge of taking steps to introduce contraband in lockup. His sister, Dominique McCarthy, who was also charged with the offense, walked away a free woman after the charge was withdrawn by the prosecution. The court heard that a package which Johnson gave his sister to deliver at the lockup was found to contain contraband. When he appeared before a senior parish court judge, Lorian Cole Montague, she appeared visibly upset as she reprimanded him for his actions. You gave her a package to deliver with things that must not be in lockup. Why did you do that to your sister? She asked him. Johnson said he could not explain the reasoning for his actions. You are wicked. You are so wicked to have done that to your sister, Cole Montague stressed. So Johnson is currently serving time for similar offenses. It was not said in court whether the incident happened while Johnson was behind bars. You should have finished with your sentence the 22nd of this month. But now I am going to have to give you something else. The judge said, you don't give me any other choice. You have been before the court and you got 60 days. And whichever judge was so kind, let you serve 30 days for them to run concurrent. And you do it again, it would mean that you are not learning. At 19 years old, I think you can benefit from someone and run you down a little bit. Well, lad, I think you can benefit from someone and run you down a little bit. I feel very strongly about people trying to introduce contraband in the lockup. It's wrong. Next thing you hear, a cell phone reaching lockup. I am reminding him further on this matter, the judge said. The judge said you can do it with benefit from someone and run you down a little bit. Jaja. The police blast INDCOM and appeal for fairness. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDCOM, is under more fire from members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force after the police oversight body issued an erroneous statement on 3 cops involved in a fatal shooting. At the start of this month, INDCOM issued a release stating that the Director of Public Prosecutions had ruled that 3 cops were to be charged for a breach of the Independent Commission of Investigation Act 2010 after they failed to furnish statements and attend its office to answer questions in connection with the September 8, 2020 fatal shooting of Martin Brown on Gretna Green Avenue, Kingston 11. According to INDCOM, the 3 cops, whose names are being withheld by the news outlet, failed to attend to be interviewed on September 15, 2020 and have provided no reasonable excuse or justification. But last week, in a release, INDCOM said that the 3 cops will not be subject to prosecution for the alleged breach and have since attended its offices to be interviewed. No, yesterday, angry members of the JCF provided the Observer with receipt of witness statements issued to them by INDCOM 4 days before they were scheduled to be delivered. The cops argued that their 3 colleagues are members of the JCF Specialized Operations Team and have had their reputations tarnished by the initial release from INDCOM. A half-hearted retraction that came after a big error. The 3 men went to INDCOM, but the investigator was unavailable, one member of the JCF said. After INDCOM placed a falsehood on its website, we called them and they took it down. We had to insist that they adjust their record, which they eventually did after much effort, but it is clear they are hiding the full facts, added the cop. Responding to the questions from the observer, INDCOM said it had not received any complaint from any member of the JCF regarding any decision it has made. You see me? And thing, we shall with it. My last. The Commission stands by decisions taken with regard to this matter, added INDCOM, as it underscored that its lines of communication with all law enforcement bodies remain open. This is the second time in 2 weeks that members of the JCF have taken aim at INDCOM. Now, last week, the Police Federation charged INDCOM had made spurious allegations about the conduct of cops on the May 10 daylight gunfight with gunmen on Trafalgar Road. We talk about that long time. We can't go on that now. So the police must say INDCOM right now go on away. See? Bombard. I'm going to say stream me like a shot tonight and I look I'm still there so I chat. Two thousand phones seized in prisons last year. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of National Security, Senator Mattis Amuda, has lamented the volume of contraband that find their way into the island's prisons. We have seen the number of cellular phones go above 2,000 seizures in one single year across our facilities. That is not something that we are happy about, because 2,000 cell phones got in. But the fact that we were able to remove them shows the correctional services is cleaning up its own issues, some would have said. No, them find 2,000. How much them never find? More than 2,000 phones were seized in the country's prisons last year, as I said earlier. The minister said that the legislation that governs aspects of the penal system is being reviewed. He argued that the current legislative framework of the Department of Correctional Services is antiquated and needs to be rewritten in order to sufficiently penalize those who continue to conduct criminal acts and run criminal enterprises from behind bars. Pending the approval of Parliament, we expect that to happen within a matter of 2 to 3 months, because we are nearing the completion in terms of our cabinet submission for approval to carry to Parliament, Samuda outlined. So something that was a $5,000 fine is going to move to $500,000 and 5 years in prison for those who bring contraband into our facilities. We need to make it that much difficult for them, and we are going to do everything within our power to ensure the legislative framework is modernized, he added. The minister said that his experience with the DCS has led him to conclude that the vast majority of officers are patriots. You have bad apples, but we are going through the process to ensure that these bad apples are indeed caught and removed, Samuda said. Samuda hinted that some of the laws are rubbish, as we have well discussed and agreed here before. Zane, Carl Welch, manners and respect for him. Many of the laws are archaic and antiquated and medieval at best. Zane? And, yes, but MS, that is what they found. Now, Minister of Security and other things, Horace Chang, has chimed in on some of the laws. He deemed them as nonsensical. Now, I rush Minister Chang, I think a last stream or a stream before, him actually I make local sense I know. Let me go hear what him say first. Let me decide if me I go say alright. Okay, Mr. Chang. Jamaica's Minister of National Security, Dr. Harris Chang, says he feels good whenever the country records 30 murders per week. Jamaica's Minister of National Security, Dr. Harris Chang, says he feels good whenever the country records 30 murders per week. Chang made the comment in Parliament yesterday while informing fellow legislators of the government's plan to amend several pieces of legislation to help control crime on the island. One of the laws being targeted is the Bail Act. Chang said that the current approach to granting bail to persons accused of serious crimes such as murders and shooting is nonsensical, as it is not in keeping with Jamaica's realities. Wow, it took them long enough. Chang said that many of Jamaica's laws are modeled off similar legislation in developed countries such as the United States of America, Britain and Canada, where things are vastly different. Take the UK, which is one of our closest partners. They have 33 murders in a population of nearly 100 million. When a murder happens, it becomes national news. When I have 30 per week, I feel good, Chang said. The UK have 33 murders for every... Well, 33 murders in a population of nearly 100 million. The boss said, when I have 30 murders per week, me's happy, man. Alright. I understand the context in which he is saying that, but there's a but. You understand? Jamaica has recorded 527 murders up to May 22nd, and that are like 4 days ago. In 2020, the number of murders recorded by the police stood at 1,323, putting the weekly average at 44.6 murders. An average of 26.3 murders have been committed each week since the start of 2021. There were 809 murders recorded in the UK in 2019-2020. Chang, like the police high command, is convinced that many murders are being committed by persons who have been charged for serious crimes such as shootings and murders, but have been released on bail. There must be a way, even within our constitution, to deal with that problem. It is nonsensical, Chang said. He told the story of a case in rural Jamaica where a young man was accused of committing multiple acts of murder. After his third shooting, the mother, who normally got somebody to bail him, was warned by residents not to bail him because they feared he would kill somebody else. However, she went about getting someone to bail her son, who was again offered bail by the court. The next day, according to the story told by Chang, the woman was murdered at her gate. It leads to tragedy, more killings, and vigilantism, Chang said of the gap in the current Bail Act. That is just one of them, bruh. Many laws need to be reworked, reframed, reorganized. Bomber! Out on the AC, so no wonder I lick the dry up. Alright. a few months ago, there was, a little thing on social media about Dayton Campbell and Karen Cross and them something. I made mention of it one night during a stream, and that was it. You understand? Because the police said at the time that they were closing the case because nobody was able to. See what I did, bro, you're there. Nobody was willing, or nobody was coming forward to give a formal statement about the allegations that were made against Mr. Campbell. Karen Cross, the PNP activist, gave the police a statement, but the police said she was not able to provide any evidence against Mr. Campbell. She and two other bloggers made allegations on social media that Dr. Campbell had sexual relations with a number of children in St. Anne before they reached the age of consent in the past. Dr. Campbell and his legal team vehemently dispelled the accusation and professed his innocence. After the police announced that they closed the case and also stated that if anybody, including Karen or any other person, wishes to provide information in the future, they are willing to reopen the case. After the police made that ruling that the case was closed, Dr. Campbell and his legal team filed a lawsuit against Karen Cross, who they claim had defamed Campbell because they had given directives that she apologize publicly and retract her accusations, and she did not. At the time, I wondered to myself, if the case was closed and Karen did not see it fit to retract her allegations and apologize, then this thing not over. I said that to myself earlier, I think. And them something there. And I also said that this thing not gone nowhere. And so said so done. Karen, in her defense, after being sued by Dayton and this legal team, submitted a series of letters to the Supreme Court in which it is alleged that 3 females gave statements to justices of the peace stating that they had sexual relations with Mr. Campbell before they were 16 years old. Now, there are a number of things that we need to pay attention to. First thing, I know by looking at the comments from the video that I did, I went to my bed about 2 o'clock this morning doing that video. It took me a little while based on the editing and stuff, the text and all of them something. See? And I browse over the comments and understand what the comments would be like and things. But there's a but. I'm going to ask you now one single favor. Let us analyze this thing rationally and void of emotions. See? So let us leave emotions on the table and let us rationalize that something. And let us not for a moment forget that Dayton Campbell has not been charged, and these statements as of now are still allegations. There are a number of other things at play. These statements were not sworn affidavit. Hope I saw that pronounced. And as such, they cannot even be used in cross-examination should the matter go to court. I'll repeat. These letters, and anybody in here with legal knowledge, if I am incorrect, feel free to correct me. These letters are not sworn affidavits. And as such, my knowledge suggests that these letters cannot be used in cross-examination if the matter goes to court. I could be wrong. One. Secondly, the 3 statements were given reportedly by 3 females. All the names of the females were redacted. But DeAndre, whether it's underage kids or adult, allegations are allegations. They have not been proven, so we can't speak to them like they have been proven. You understand? So whatever we will feel, that I'm just asking, I can get emotions out of the thing. Whichever way we feel about the situation, let us stick with the facts as we know them to be first. Then we'll deal with the rest of the things. The 3 females, their names were redacted from the documents submitted to the Supreme Court, meaning that no name was included in the submissions of the documents to the Supreme Court. I hope you understand. So far. Thanks, Finar. Alright. So let's go. And as me say, you are free to express your views. But let us remember again that we can express our views using logics instead of emotions. Yes, the JP stamped the documents, but the female's name are not present on the documents. And the JP stamping the documents don't make them affidavits. It makes it a statement stamped by a JP. As far as I understand, again, I could be wrong. Sir Lindsay. Zin, so if you know more than I do, feel free to let me know. So let's go. And I'll get back to a couple of things. Sex scandal erupts, and the accusers say PNP's Campbell wooed them with gifts and trips. And I use the article published by Nationwide. I need to start do that something, you know. Article courtesy of Nationwide. And glean on them places. We wonder I'm in the right myself. The scandal surrounding People's National Park. I'm saying I can't find one different picture because there money enough picture, you know. You see? Which one? Which one up there? That one then? You see that one there? Alright, boom so. No picture. The scandal surrounding People's National Party GenSec, Dr. Dayton Campbell, has intensified with the submission of statements from 3 females who are alleging that they had sexual relations with a politician when they were minors. Yeah? The statements are part of the defense filed by PNP activist Karen Cross at the Supreme Court on May 13th in response to a defamation lawsuit against her and the 2 bloggers, Natalie Stack and Michelle Stern, filed by Campbell in March. Campbell in his lawsuit has accused Cross and the other defendants of writing malicious, false, and defamatory comments on social media alleging that he had sex with girls who were under 16 years old. However, Cross, who is relying on claims of truth and fair statement as her defense filed by her attorney, included the statements that were reportedly given by the 3 alleged victims and signed by justices of the peace. And which video Miss Alexa talk about? The video was taken down just a day ago from Pornhub website. Which video? So watch you now. Let's go. In the first statement, which was dated March 1, January, February, March. Alright, March 1. A female who is now 18 alleges that she started having sexual relations with Campbell 3 months before her 15th birthday. Yeah? She claimed they had sex 3 times and that she last had sexual relations with the medical doctor during the 2016 general election on a Friday. The accuser further alleges that she and other girls would drive around with the popular politician when he visited Brownstone in St. Anne and that he would take them places. And Brownstone is part of the St. Anne Northwestern constituency which Campbell represented in Parliament. The alleged victim reportedly told Cross about the situation in 2019. The second statement, which was written on the 12th of March, claims that the alleged victim started having sex with Campbell in 2014 when she was 15 and he was the MP for St. Anne Northwest. The accuser claimed that their sexual encounters continued up to 2016 and that he would take her to hotels. She further purported that they had sex in Kingston, Manchester and Clarendon while the politician was campaigning. According to the statement, the now woman, who said that Campbell had done things for her family, confided in Cross when the activist visited St. Anne claiming she was scared. She also told Cross that the doctor liked her sister. She also alleged that Campbell had helped her mother and that she is fearful of her. According to the third statement, dated March 18th, the female met Campbell when she was 15 after her mother took her to ask him for assistance with school fees and a job for her brother. The female alleged that when she approached Campbell, he told her that her breasts were overly developed and asked her if she was certain about her age. The female also claimed that she started going places with Campbell after he helped her family and paid her school fees. She said they traveled several places and he took her virginity. According to the victim, they had sex several times because she liked Campbell. She also reported that she had accompanied Campbell to Kingston, Manchester and St. Elizabeth for conferences. The female in the statement said she also confided in Cross and that she too was scared. Based on the statements, all the purported victims gave reports of their own free will. The statements from the alleged victims were signed by 2 JPs and stamped. One of the JPs indicated that she had seen the identification of 2 of the accusers. Dayton sex video. Okay, fam. Okay, cool. So you are telling me that there would be a sex video of Dayton Campbell, a politician that would have probably made many enemies in his political career, and that video is not viral on social media? Okay, cool. Interesting. But come move on. What you have there say, you know? Right, so all 3 ladies reportedly confided in Cross. Yeah? As the Observer says, Dayton crossed the beer. Based on the statements, so the statements from the alleged victim, we said that already. In April, the police who had launched an investigation into the sexual abuse reports against the 2-term MP ended their probe after stating that no basis was found for the allegations. At that time, the police had indicated that no witness had come forward. Campbell and his attorney at law, Georgia Gibson Henlin, QC, in the aftermath had denied the allegations and dismissed reports of Campbell being involved in any criminal offense or immoral conduct. The PNP Gensec had also filed a lawsuit after Cross refused to retract her statement and apologize. Yeah? Alright, so that's the article. So we just read the article. Zane? So we hear what the 3 ladies had to say. And let me put this into context. Zane? If these allegations are true, and these ladies are able to substantiate these allegations with date and time and locations, and these things can be verified, it don't look good for Mr. Campbell. However, if these ladies, if these statements are proven to be false, then I suppose some other people will be in problem. So anywhere this go, somebody in a problem. Looking anywhere, anyhow this go, somebody in a problem. If you go one way, Campbell in a problem. If you go one next way, Cross in a problem. So some problem, trouble there. See? Trouble there. Now, Mr. Campbell, in his defense, and this is Empress Cross, a PNP activist, very vocal. She and Lisa has been at it for a while. I think she and Lisa make peace, I know, if memory serves me correctly. I don't know. Dayton is saying that it's a witch hunt, and it all started because a resignation letter was sent to him to be signed to make everything go away, and he decided not to sign. That is what I listened to him, so I kind of paraphrase him, you know, which is probably not wise. And beyond the headline today, deep sea teeth, money have a Joe note and thing. So PNP Gensec Dayton Campbell blasts Karen Cross and rejects allegations he had sex with minors. So Dayton Campbell is rejecting the recent and ongoing allegations made against his character by PNP activists. Is that a JLP activist and is a PNP activist? Dionne can represent. Dionne can represent him. Kim T, you play rough. So what you know? So character by PNP activist Karen Cross that he had sexual relations with minor. You understand? And we know the matter. A minor cannot consent to sex. We know that. That is well documented, alright? In a release this afternoon, Dr. Campbell says the statements provided by Ms. Cross as part of her defense in his defamation suit against her were heavily redacted, edited by Ms. Cross, and hide pertinent information in the document. Interesting. He also says the statements are dated before the police opened an investigation into the matter and were not provided to law enforcement. Because the statements were dated March 1st, March 12th, March 18th, if memory serves me correctly. First 12th, me write it down somewhere, you know. March 1, March 12, March 18th, yeah. So those are the dates that the statements were provided. Keep the alarm. Right? So Campbell is saying that the statements are dated before the police opened an investigation into the matter and were not provided to law enforcement. The embattled PNP Gensec in his statement says he rejects in the strongest of terms recent and ongoing allegations made against his character by Karen et al. He says these allegations have been circulated widely across social media platforms and covered by some traditional media houses. Dr. Campbell says when allegations first surfaced online, the PNP referred the matter to the police. He says he then filed a lawsuit against Ms. Cross et al. For defamation, having publicly denied the allegations. He says the police, after extensive investigations into the claims, found no basis to the allegations. The PNP Gensec says Ms. Cross filed a set of documents in her defense with 3 statements which were heavily... I said that already? Yeah, so why I make reach back down here, so? Backside. Alright, yeah. Yeah, so this includes, let me read it from this one. The PNP Gensec says Ms. Cross filed a set of documents in her defense with 3 statements which were heavily redacted, edited by herself to hide pertinent information. This includes the names of the alleged authors of the statements. So the names of the 3 individuals were not on the statements. Yeah? Finar evidence is a 3 girls recorded him using phone. Gaza stars a politics brother. Yeah. So what you know? Yeah. He says most importantly these statements were not provided to the police. May I try to keep up with some of the comments there? Somebody, Paul Johnson, somebody. I don't know is who, but somebody. Because anyway go, somebody I get it. You understand what I say? Alright. Dr. Campbell says even more so, the justices of the peace who allegedly witnessed these statements would be obliged under the Child Care and Protection Act to bring these matters to the attention of the police. Yet, the police remain unaware of any such letters. So, Finar, would the JPs be compelled to make the report to the police now, seeing that the women who allegedly gave statements are now adults? So, would the JPs be held accountable if they do not make reports to the police or Sissoko? But I guess they would be held because there's no statute of limitation on these things, innit? Yeah, alright. So what you know? What were they? So Campbell said the JPs them have, it is required of them, they are obliged to report the matter to the police, having witnessed and stamped the statements, innit? Alright. He says, having denied the allegations in the strongest of terms and based on this series of actions taken by Ms. Cross to sully my reputation, he is extremely disappointed that media houses continue to carry unfounded claims. But Mr. Campbell, if the media houses receive documentation that Ms. Cross submitted some documents in her defense, why would they not be inclined to share this story? I don't know why the media houses are not accusing you of doing anything. They are simply sharing information that has come to them. Yeah? So I don't know that any blame should be attributed to the media houses. The media houses are doing what they do. They report. And if information is given to them and they see it as something that the viewers would find an interest in, and in defame or which word may I look for? I don't find any word. But yeah. See me? So I don't know. But alright. Watch it now. But also saying that, I think the judge had issued an injunction to the media saying that they should not repeat the allegations that were made against Mr. Campbell because no evidence came forth and so. I think there was that ruling. Finar, back me up on that now. I'm not sure. Because one time it kind of just take with myself from these things and from the whole happenings. That's something here. Not just this case, but thing. Remember, I never did stream for a while. But just so that clear my brain like. Watch ya. Dr. Campbell says, well, in his statement, Dr. Campbell described Ms. Cross as a known political mercenary and goes on to call her character into question. He also alleges that Ms. Cross seems to be part of a well-funded political agenda with the objective of forcing him to resign from his position as GenSec. Dr. Campbell said that he would pave the way for a new PNP GenSec to better facilitate the objective of undermining the party leader and ultimately to reverse the democratic results of last November's internal elections. Dr. Campbell concludes his statement by saying it is extreme, and see them people upset Dr. Clark. I wish Dr. Clark. Dr. Campbell concludes his statement by saying it is extremely unfortunate that at this time in which the national discourse has been so focused on gender-based violence, that Ms. Cross and her benefactors would seek to trivialize this issue with baseless and scurrilous allegations. Now, having listened beyond the headline this evening, where there was a conversation between Dayton Campbell and Dionne Jackson Miller. He spoke about the fact that the alleged victims' name were not on the letters submitted to the Supreme Court. The letters, so the statements, as I said before, and this came out of that discussion, were in the form of letters and not sworn affidavits, and as such, they cannot be cross-examined if the matter goes to court. I think that came out of the discussion as well. I think Dionne Jackson Miller was the person who pointed that out. You know, she's a lawyer. Campbell also stated that this all started after a letter of resignation was sent to him, and it was stated that if he signs that letter of resignation, all things will go away. So he's saying that the attack is politically motivated. He's also saying that the statement, the dates on the statement being March 1st, 12 and 18 were before the investigation was opened and closed by the police, and yet these statements were not submitted to the police. He's also inviting the police to reopen the investigation because he says that the allegations are baseless. And he said, in answering questions as to whether he should step aside, he said he won't do that because that is what the people who are behind this want him to do, to step aside. And if so, they would be winners. But the PNP has been very vocal in calling for MP George Wright to step aside. So I am certain that the Jamaica Labour Party will be as vocal in calling for Dayton Campbell to step aside. Step aside now. Ah boy. On a serious note, somebody is going to get checked. Somewhere along the line, either Dr. Campbell will get checked or Karen Cross or somebody will get checked. Because you know what? If these allegations are true, Dr. Campbell should be held accountable. You understand what I say? If these allegations are baseless, then Karen Cross should be held accountable. Somebody shall be held accountable. Well, should be. Will somebody be? Let's see. You understand? Jamaica is a strange place and a good day. So, who knows? Interesting. Why would these three ladies not go to the police to give an official statement and chose to do so as witnessed by a justice of the peace? And I wish, you know, me need a in the house lawyer, but me know Finar know some things about the process. Finar, the letters which were submitted as statement in the defense of Karen, can these letters be used for cross-examination purposes if this matter goes to court? Winston Rose said the names of the young ladies must be redacted in order to protect their lives. But then, if you are accusing me of something, brother, Zane, then my lawyers are going to need to know the people that will accuse me. And me going to need to know the people that will accuse me. You can't just accuse me so I remain in the shadows, bruh. So what happened to my life? They are not admissible, sir, teach them. No, them letter they useless. Okay. But as me I said, broski, I understand where Kenneth Newland, big up yourself, you know. Who made the comment? I want to talk to the person directly. Zane, Cross as evidence, you're not backing down. But, Mr. Lex, why not give the police the evidence when the police were seeking evidence then? Why not? More victim them out there. And I can't speak to that, you know, Johnny. That's a possibility. Or nay, we don't know. But you can't have people accused and you don't know them. Then how that makes sense? So you would want somebody to be accusing you. And you don't know who accuse you, from which direction. Then me don't know about that still. So, and as I'm saying, why did these three ladies not go to the police to give an official statement? And also, if the dates on the statements are the 1st, the 12th, and the 18th, remember the investigation was during April, thereabouts. So it would suggest that these statements were penned and signed before this investigation started and before it closed. So why were the police not furnished with these statements? Or why did these three young ladies, or women now, not go to the police to give a formal statement? Remember that they are underage. Who underage, Miss Winsome? These women now, these ladies, these girls are women now. I don't think they're underage anymore. You understand? I am certain that all these ladies are older than 16 now. Based if you do the maths. The first witness, the first statement giver said she had sex months before her 15th birthday. And that was in 2016. So that are 5 years on now. So she 18 long time. Next victim said that in 2014 she started having sex when she was 15. That are 6 and 7 years now. So she about 22. Alright? And the third victim, let me see if I can find the third victim. Statement, victim, I answer that. Dated March 18, female, when she was 15. After boom, boom, boom. See if any hear the ears. School fee and then something there. Right. So, all of them allegations, all of these persons are now adults. Miss Winsome. So then, and the third one said that Campbell allegedly said to her that her breasts were well developed if she's sure she was 15. And that are from long time. So, all three of them are adults now. So, I'm not sure I understand the point there. And all me I say still, Miss Cross, she made the allegations publicly. Zane, the police opened the investigation. She gave the police a statement, but she did not provide the police with the statements that were based on the dates recorded before the investigation started and before it ended. So why was the police not furnished with these statements? Yes, Andrea, I understand that. That is not what me I say. Zane, no, I get that. However, I am saying no. They are no adults. If they can confide in Miss Cross and she can bring it public, it must be that they are in a place mentally where they are willing to talk to the police. You understand? But just ask some questions. We just want to know why you want to give the police some information. But if the allegations are true and these three women are willing to walk the walk, Mr. Campbell future look dark. People are afraid of them life. So if one of those persons should die now, then what you think the police are go for DJ? You know, the police justice thing is not as bad as some people think sometimes, you know. You understand? So, thousands of people give statements in this country on any given day. So giving statement is not like a new thing in our country. I'm gonna get that. You see me? It don't right now it not look very good based on the statements. However, what people need to understand is that these statements were not sworn affidavits. They were letters. And as such, based on my little knowledge and the research that I have been doing, these letters holds no water should the matter go to court, because they cannot be used in cross-examination. These females would have to now come forward and testify and them something there. Teach them check WhatsApp. Alright, broski. So I'm gonna left it there, so because I say, you see, when you don't know things and you talk, you tend to get yourself in a problem, you know. I don't know a lot of things legally. Zane, I learn as I go along. Respect, bro. So, as I say, when you don't know something, it's best to try and learn it and get some info. And that is what I am trying to do. But that said, if these allegations turn out to be true, then Mr. Campbell kinda dark, Dr. Campbell kinda dark. And if the allegations turn out to be fabricated or baseless, then Karen will carry one cross. You understand? And that's what I think there. Interesting developments. The thing with these allegations, with allegations like these, even if it is proven that the accused is not guilty, the country don't judge him already. That is how sexual allegations go. You not get rid of that. That stick prior. You understand? So, whether he is guilty or not, he has been tried already and sentenced. You understand? So whatever the court, and remember, as far as I know, the case has not been reopened. Zane, the statements that Ms. Cross submitted to the Supreme Court is in her defense against the lawsuit, the defamation lawsuit filed by Campbell. Jaja. Make we see how it go. Make we see how it go. Yes, and he said that he welcomes the police in reopening an investigation and them something. As I said, it would have been a good listen for you guys and beyond the headline earlier. Listening to him. Trevor Monroe and another lady was also there saying that he should step aside and them something. Them say him not step nowhere. Zane, but he probably should. For the process to work, Zane, he probably should relinquish his post as PNP Gensec. Not like he neighbor string cut under PNP. You understand? Sort out his legal issues. And the PNP said that they were going to release a statement. I never see one forthcoming today. I don't know if one has been released since I started streaming. So I don't know. So I just say things. Perception is that, brother? Perception. So, make we see it go. They can check out the interview on one spot. Okay, it's there. Okay, cool. And thing. Yeah. Me did have to get rid of them. Some of them heavy topics. So, me couldn't light a Friday. On a lighter note. One iconic boss. You see, based on my position, I can't state that to the bro. I have to wait until what the court rule. Because you see, man like me, you know, me not mind no man in a brother. So, for the man them sitting and wait for you saying the certain things to sue you, bruh. So I be very careful with the things I say, you know. You understand? And as I always tell people, 90% of the things I say when I stream is 10% of the things I know. Many people don't get that, but you have to be wise. You understand? I don't hide. You understand? People know me. People know who will be there. People. So, but now mind no man, brother, and all the thing I get there now, the country is becoming very litigious. People are sue you just to sue your sake. And then something them. And me I try to take care of my youth them. So me not really take on nobody else right now. So, yeah. That is an interesting point, you know, Andrea. Nothing criminal has been brought forward, so you shouldn't step aside. Interesting viewpoint that. I can accept that. I can accept that. I can accept that point, Miss Andrea. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. But, you see, Empress Andrea, you are the gensec of the oldest political movement in the country. See? The opposition People's National Party. These allegations will not go until whenever. Would they not affect you in the execution of your duties as a public figure? So why not just extricate yourself from the situation, treat it what you have to treat with, and then you try sort out back yourself politically after? I suppose that's another viewpoint. I don't know. So until the police reopen an investigation, until Dr. Campbell is charged, if so be it, then these are allegations, and as I said, these statements have no foundation in the courts, as they were just submitted in Miss Cross trying to make her defense in the defamation suit against her and the two others. These statements were never provided to the police and things. So I don't know what does it would impact him. However, stepping aside also brings perception of guilt. Again, fair point I have to accept. Yeah. But then the next side I to Empress Andrea, the same party in which is GenSec was calling for, well, it's still calling for Mr. Right to do the right thing, to be, well, to resign or whatever else. So, out of moral fortitude, wouldn't it be the right thing for the PNP to ask Mr. Campbell to step aside? Because Andrea is on the ball tonight, so I could go and talk to her a little bit. Either way, you will always have that lingering question, and that is the thing, Andrea. That is the thing. You understand me? I say that's something there. That's something there. That's something there. It's a hard something. You feel me? It's a hard thing. Empress Angel, if you bring in as a co-host, you're sharp like a razor in the night, yeah. And appreciate your viewpoint. Very balanced. You understand? Very analytical as well. Mr. Right, that man for me talk. Hey, Mr. Right. Sure. Right now, I go on my bed because rape allegation never leave. Prefer to wrongly accuse of murder than rape. When a woman do this, they do not recognize that. The PNP needs to do their own investigation. Again, that may be done through orange eyes, you know, so I don't know. Miss Merlin Hilton. would be like Mr. Portland situation. His name will always be staying with this. Jaja. If you not go so, it rough. If it go so, Dayton kinda dark. So whichever way as me say, somebody I get checked. I go on my bed. You understand? Karen is my friend, but I think she has gone too far. I don't like dating. But you can't play with people character like that. It's the same thing them did with Governor Cuomo, and he didn't resign. Alright. Peeps, big up on yourself. Yeah, that's one. I know some people surprised to see me on a Wednesday. But you know what thing go, we're there. Was just making up for Sunday. And I shed some weight for Friday night. Seeing they're seriously watching the Americans politicians. Big up yourself, you know, do I hope I was able to bring a little bit more context to the situations that I spoke about. And I know that, you know, my perspectives and viewpoints, you know, will not always be agreed upon. And I am totally fine with that. We can always have a discussion of civility, Zane, and we can all disagree in a very civil manner. I am always willing to do that. You understand? Man never make Warmington look like Saint. You see me? So I appreciate, as Killer said, brother, you know, see nobody no cuss bad word in your comment section. You say I be a working class people by your place. That's how Killer said to everybody. Yeah, so as we say, I have the articulate minority over here. Wanna big up on yourself. I appreciate the ones them. I understand. I appreciate the man them where never see eye to eye with me like Dionne, but I always love, and we are reason from a place of love and respect said speed. You understand? I just saw it thing go. We don't take nothing personal, we don't get emotional about things. Unless me cuss people in education. Me take that personal sometimes. You understand? And I have faced it long enough in the education system to know if you take that personal. Cuss them. You see me? So, but generally speaking, we don't take nothing personal, we don't get emotional about nothing. You understand? We see it for what it is, and we share the information that exists, the facts that exist at the time, and we try to cloud nobody's judgment or influence anybody's thought process on a particular thing. That is why when I do videos, me not come tell you, say I saw it go, and the way they alone it can go. I give you the information, and it is for you, my intelligent viewers, to interpret and analyze that how you see it. In the streams I will talk, and if I go on camera to do a video, those videos are normally me I share my perspective on something. I'm still not try to convince somebody say I saw it go. You understand? Like the name video, I did the video about be careful of the names you answer. People, you know, respectfully disagreed with my viewpoint in the comment section, and that was fine. Zine, but having said that, Mr. The police them post on wanted Wednesday list. Say me can't. I'm showing a look thing again. Mr. The police them post on wanted Wednesday list. Zine. 4-man panny. One man name, tell you what them name. One man name Oatmeal Andre Smith. Him wanted for murder. We're not talking about him yet. One man named Karen Angus OC Kadula or Dola. Wanted for double murder and shooting. So watch this now. The next man, Omar Burford. His alias is Gunners. You understand? The next man, Odian Mackenzie. He's also called Shanta Boy or Bad. So one of his alias is Bad. And another one is Rebel. He's wanted for murder. So all of them wanted for murder. Man named Gunners, man named Bad, and man named Rebel. And I tell people, say the name thing, then brother, it influence how you think. And man, I said, teach me, I agree. But everything good, you understand? It is not a scientific study. It is just an observation study. You see me? Peace, big up on yourself. Big up to the people that were in the General Cheese premieres there. You know, some man I say a few little things, not understanding that that interview was not as easy to conduct as you would think. You understand? And it's not what you see on camera, as in the video where you watch alone was recorded. As in, I edit. And when I edit for a reason. You understand? So for the people who are say, yo, they not hear about them $50 song or donkey meats. Brother, the man I recover from 2 stroke. I can't ask the man about every song. The man remember about every song. So I couldn't use on the head one of the thing. Peace, big up on yourself. Someone here say, I want to lock off all the light. Oh, let me turn on the back. I'm not there. I'm still there. Peace, big up on yourself. Me soon Friday. I will premiere Tuesday. I soon tell them. I don't even remember. I don't remember. But yeah, we have that Tuesday. But soon Friday, we talk about some more things. Yeah, sir. I plan to do some video again. You see, tomorrow and then they announce it. They choose those names to personify an image. So names influence behavior. You can't. Some people say no go so. You understand? I look on the comments and I say, drink water and go sleep. Peeps, art I love you know. Appreciate the ones them. Seeing all of the soldier them, all of the lion them, seeing all of the lionesses them, the daughters them, the empresses them. Big up on yourself you know. Art I love. Manners and respect. Walk good. Step with Jah. Safe travel upon the graph. And a special good night to the person who disliked the video. And I go up on the road today, and everywhere I go, people know me. Big up to all of the people that I sit on the road today. And say, teach, we love the work, we appreciate the video them, Zane, and you're the boss. Art of love. You understand what I say? I try when I go on the road and somebody say teach them, no matter what I do, I stop to go, elbow spec. You see what I say? Because I saw we stay in the street still. We appreciate the ones them, Zane and thing. When I went to the supermarket today, the young man that packed my stuff said, teach, we appreciate. We're young youth, Zane, and when he brought the stuff to the vehicle, me give him a thing. You understand? He was so surprised. Zane, before I gave it to him, I said, I give you this because I appreciate the fact that as a young man, sit down in your yard or you're up on the roadside a plan, figure out, do people things or take people things. Because of that, pick up yourself, all this. He was very shocked when him looking at it, and I said, don't worry about it, man. Like him, man, I wonder if I write money, make him. I say, everything good, man. Big up yourself. Go and do some work and elevate yourself. You see me? Yeah, man. I saw you have to rap with the youth, them and reason with the youths them too, because it's rough out there. So each one teach one, reach one. Peeps, walk good. Step with Jah. Safe travel upon the gravel. I'm out.
Thank you for tuning in. Like the stream before you go. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Remember to share the stream with your family and friends and browse the channel for more amazing content. Until next time, walk good, my friends.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them right here. Warlord representing.